to come and be in the presence of people who serve our people, serve the Indian people of this country. When I spoke with a good friend of mine a week or so ago in Washington, D.C., we were talking about this conference, and I said, that's a great conference. And they serve a great purpose. They have tremendous accomplishments, and it's a great credit to what you do. And long story short, here I am. I want to introduce to you a friend of mine, Larry Townsend. Larry, why don't you come on up here? Larry, many of you know, some of you may not know, is a Lumbee tribal member. I believe he serves on the tribal council. Nothing more. Well, he has. He's passed me. But I've known Larry for several years now, and I can tell you there's no more committed person to Indian affairs or the taking care of business on behalf of Indian people or a servant of Indian people than Larry Townsend. Larry serves on our board of the National Congress of American Indians as the representative from the southeast area. And I can tell you that he does a tremendous job in representing the interests of all the tribes on the East Coast, along the eastern seaboard. He works with the northeastern rep to represent all. I believe there's 44 tribes of the south and eastern tribes, and that's a handful all by itself. But Larry and I have talked about the accomplishments of this group here. I know that my tribe operates a program, and I was just talking to Michelle about the number of people that we serve. And we've always said that it's not the number of people that you serve, it's the type of service and the degree of service that you give to those people. And it's how can they better themselves? Can you help them to help themselves? And that's what it's all about. I know that in my tribe, I've had family members that have used this program. And so people with disabilities, people with needs, they affect everyone. No one is exempt from having needs or having a need of some type of service. And we often are a little embarrassed about the type of service that we need, the type of problem that we've been dealing with. It may be from drugs, it may be from alcohol. Drug and alcohol. Alcohol is a drug. But it may be from some other type of infirmity or disability, or no one likes to use the term handicap anymore. But it does. It handicaps you in some ways. But our purpose is to help those people overcome that, get to a point in their life where they can become more productive in their lives and renew their interest, renovate, re-energize themselves, and get to a point where they can take care of themselves. The people in this room, you already know that. I feel like I'm preaching to the choir. I'm not a preacher. I've been accused of preaching a few times, but I don't do that. But I do appreciate your service and what you do for the people that you serve. We talk about military service. Larry and the Lumbee Warriors Association that come to, they are faithful. In every event that we have, they come and bring the flags in. Their service to our country cannot be overstated, but neither can their service to the fellow man, because it is a service to the fellow man. I did serve in the military for 20 years, 20 plus years. I did all those things that probably shouldn't have. The Rambo things that they're talking about. I don't mean unlawful things, but I did a lot of things that takes a toll on your body, takes a toll on your knees and ankles and feet, those kinds of things. But I'm proud of that service. The time that I served in Vietnam, when we talk about people with disabilities and people with problems, I still have folks that call me at least once a month. I get a call from a couple of people who suffer distress. Many of you understand that. Many of you are familiar with that. And these are Vietnam veterans. One of them I served with in Vietnam, the other I did not. But we still talk. We talk about things that are affecting them. It affects the way they live. It has affected them for years. And many people don't realize the type of problems that they've had. And they turn to alcohol. They turn to other types of outlets to deal with those pressures. And so I do appreciate all that you do for our people. In terms of the National Congress of American Indians, I wanted Larry to be up here with me because the National Congress of American Indians deals with a variety of issues. We talk about everything from tribal sovereignty to the tribal governments. We talk about tribal memberships. We deal with sovereignty issues, health issues, legislative issues, everything that Indian people are faced with in this country. And the National Congress does a tremendous job of advocating for Indian people on the Hill in Washington, D.C. We're there every day. We have an office in Washington that we have staff who are in every meeting that goes on in Congress. We'll have someone there. If they can get in the meeting, if they're allowed in, they get in and they let us know what's going on. We use that as a conduit for information to tribal leaders so that they have information that they can make decisions on timely and accurately and on behalf of the people that they serve. That not every tribal government is a member of NCAI. It doesn't matter. NCAI is an inclusive organization. We advocate on behalf of every Indian person in this country. Every Indian person. It doesn't mean even if you're not a member, you still get the benefit of our service because we advocate on your behalf. It doesn't mean you can't, if you're not a member, we encourage you to become a member because that's how we continue to do what we do. But having said that, there are a number of issues going on in this country today. Environmental protection. One of the things that we're going to be dealing with, the Houma tribe in Louisiana is facing devastation right now. There are a number of other tribes in the Southeast that are going to be facing tremendous problems with the environment. This oil spill in the Gulf, that has the potential to devastate some tribes in Louisiana. And, it's just a matter of time. Those are things that we'll advocate on Washington to assist those tribes with financially if we can, or other types of grants, other types of protection. There are a number of other issues going on in the economy. Everybody knows the economy is going south. What that does, that affects tribal government's budgets. We're facing budget cuts next year and the following years in the federal Indian budgets, federal Indian programs. One of the programs here may even be affected by that eventually. So, we've got wars going on. We've got a war in Iraq, we've got a war in Afghanistan. In 2000, the year of 99 to 2000, I was out in Spokane, Washington, and the Secretary of HHS at the time, Tommy Thompson, I guess he was just appointed by George Bush. At the time, 9/11 had just happened. And he said, Indian budget's going to be okay this year, next year. He said, after that, there's just no telling. Well, we've been in a war since that time, somewhere in Iraq or Afghanistan. And so we struggle with our tribal budgets. Everything that we get from the tribal government, we have to go and struggle and fight with them every day. We talk about budgets. We face those. And NCAI advocates, and we actually go to Washington and talk to our congressmen. We talk to every congressman that'll listen. We talk about our budgets and how much we need those restored. We don't need those cuts, especially in housing, health, human services, those programs where our people need every dollar that we get.